Civil War.
If you haven't seen the trailer yet, why haven't you seen the trailer yet?
And speaking of trailers...
Are trailers ruining games and movies overall?
All that and more on our B-Dubs edition of Watch,
Chat, Play. Welcome back to Watch, Chat, Play. This is our third episode, so if you're just joining us, thank you.
Thanks.
If you've been here this entire time for the last three episodes and the last two bring-it-ins that we've done, thank you so much. We've seen a really, really good response from all of our Facebook stuff and then all of our channels as well, so thank you guys so much from the bottom of both of our very small and blackened hearts for your support. It's awesome, so thank you guys so much. For those of you that are just joining us, what Watch, Chat, Play is essentially where Cameron and I come together once a week and we talk about whatever's really big and whatever is really important to us. So this week, one really, 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 really big thing happened. Cam, what just happened?
Captain America, their new movie, Civil War, they just launched a new trailer, and it was pretty big. I'm not a huge fan of movies in general. This has got me excited.
Which I thought was interesting, because when we were talking about this in pre-production, you were saying that you don't necessarily go for the big budget popcorn films, or is it movies in general? Is it just super big Hollywood stuff that you don't like, or do you just not like movies all that much?
If I am going to see a movie, I want to go to the theater.
Okay.
So these kind of things, your Marvels or horror movies are my favorite. I absolutely love horror movies. Going and seeing them in a theater is great, but when I'm sitting at home, my attention is not with movies.
But you're big into reading, though. So so for you, is it more beneficial for you to sit down and read a really, really long book as opposed to going out and spending the money and watching a movie?
I think I'd rather read, honestly.
Interesting. So, does it take a really big AAA production like the new Star Wars, like Deadpool, like the Avengers style movies? Does it take that to get you to even come out?
Well, I saw The Visit, M. Night Shyamalan's new movie, because I was really interested from the trailer. And I was like, well, I'll go matinee when it's cheap. And I ended up liking it. So it's just all depends on how I'm feeling, I guess, or if there's people that want to go. Okay,
so then the trailer just happened. It had a really, really big reveal on it. But prior to me, I messaged you, you need to watch this trailer. Had you seen it before I messaged you, or no? Okay, so not at all. So after seeing the trailer, we actually, you watched it a couple of times, and then we watched it a couple of times tonight before we even saw this, because we wanted to be fresh. What did you like about the trailer, if anything?
Well, obviously the big thing is Spider-Man.
Spoilers.
It's a trailer. We'll get into that later. But I'm a huge fan of Spider-Man, Deadpool. That crossover is amazing. And this, he is what Spider-Man sounds like in my head.
Because that was a big thing for a lot of people when he's only in the last 5 seconds of the trailer, if he's even in it that long.
Yeah,
but he sounds young. He sounds like a teenager. He's a very, very young kid, which I thought was interesting because this is about to take place in a really, really big battle, and then you've got, Iron Man and all these weapons. You've got Hawkeye and all these weapons. You've got, these two big teams, and then you've got, this high school kid that's in there. So that kind of raises different questions about, he's a hero, so is it okay? Or should there be any regard for the fact that the kid's a teenager?
I think they're going to write him in really well. At the very least, he's not stupid. I'm sure this is well into his heroing, if that's what you want to call it.
His costume is legit. There's no knockoff sweatpants. There's nothing weird.
I'm going to guess he's probably maybe early 20s. I don't think he's actually going to be... Maybe late teens. I don't think he's going to be the high school.
Okay.
I think he might be the out of high school Spider-Man. Because I mean, it's possible, but I see him being a little older.
Okay.
Maybe even Parker Industries, Peter Parker.
Ooh, really?
I don't know. I'm just speculating.
Speculation. So you like Spider-Man.
I love Spider-Man.
And then you said that you thought it was a cool concept.
Oh, yeah. Just the whole conflict. That's going to be really cool. I like how this year we're going with the movies, just the fighting. Just like hero versus hero, and sounds cool.
Okay, cool. I like that too. And then there's one thing at the end that you said when we were talking about it earlier.
Oh, yeah. This is me saying right now, we're to steal Colin Moriarty's thing. We could do the hashtag Cameron was right instead of Colin was right.
Okay, cool.
Cameron was right. Someone will die. Someone big will die. I'm calling Iron Man.
Why?
Meta. We're going outside of the movie thing. I think Robert Downey Jr. might be getting a little tired of doing Iron Man. I mean, I'm sure he loves it, but he's not a spring chicken.
Yeah, and he's made so much money. Like he doesn't have to do movies anymore if he doesn't want to. But he will always be known as Iron Man. Like
oh my gosh, yeah.
He rebranded Iron Man. Like Iron Man and RDJ are the same thing.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think most of us read there's a Twitter thing where Sebastian Stan, the guy who is playing Bucky in the movie, he said that if you're going to watch a movie, you're supposed to like drink a gallon of water or something beforehand because you're going to cry so much throughout the movie. So that suggests that somebody really important and lovable is going to die.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to kill Spider-Man?
Oh God, no! No!
Like he says, "Hey guys, he's got Captain America's shield," and then Hawkeye just an arrow right between the eyes, like, and then game over. Like that's it for Spider-Man.
No.
One of the shortest careers in history.
I mean, they did it to Quicksilver.
Spoilers. I'm gonna have to edit something in about spoilers in this thing.
Oops.
I'll put that in the thumb. I'll put spoilers in the thumb, so we'll be safe. So yeah, I think somebody as important has to die, whether or not it's Captain America or Iron Man. I was saying that I think it would make more sense if it was like Captain America because it's a Captain America movie.
Yeah.
And I think Chris Evans is getting as burnt out as Robert Downey Jr. Obviously, he's not as old as Robert Downey Jr., but in the terms of like him as an actor, he did an amazing job in the movie Snowpiercer, which you said that you hadn't seen.
I have not seen it yet, no.
He still does really good work. He's a really good actor. So I think there's a point where you kind of get burnt out on like what you're doing. And even though Captain America is this huge, big franchise, I think if you're watching the comics at all, if you follow the Civil War series, something really bad happens to Captain America at the end of it. And all of the key players are kind of in this universe as well. It's already established. So I would argue that instead of Iron Man, I would say that maybe Cap would, if anybody was going to die.
That makes sense too.
And then maybe they segue either, Sebastian Stan into the role of Captain America, or, Falcon's in it too. Falcon could just as easily take over that mantle of Captain America and then kind of push that franchise forward. Is it going to have as big of a reception? I don't think so, but I think that would be a really impactful way for them to take him out. So that's just, speculation is great. So.
I mean, we're pretty sure War Machine's
yeah, and you made a really good point too. In the trailer, if you haven't seen the trailer, please go watch the trailer because it's really good. But awesome. you were saying that something as big as a character dying is probably not going to be in the trailer, which is something we're going to talk about in a little bit. But I think there's a good point though, where Rhodey's in the air, some laser thing hits his arc reactor, and then you just see him drop. You see Iron Man freaking out, and then you see it cuts to the next scene where. War Machine puts this big crater in the ground, and then Iron Man has to rip his faceplate off because his machine's damaged, and he's just holding him, and he's unconscious. So I don't think they would release a death in a trailer either.
And at least not that way.
Yeah.
It could be foreshadowing, something like that, but I don't think they're going to show you the death scene.
And this is going to sound bad, I don't think War Machine's that important of a character. Like, you could kill him and nobody would care. Avengers Age of Ultron, they even kind of made fun of him, this is a War Machine story, so that's not cute. So then he went and told that story to a whole bunch of regular civilians as opposed to the Avengers, and then they all got that. So I feel like even they know that he's not that important of a character, so why would you bother? Because nobody's really going to care. It doesn't have the impact. So I don't think that would be a thing. So I liked Spider-Man in it as well. I like that he was really young. I really, really liked that there is like an authentic conflict between Captain America and Iron Man, where Iron Man's saying, the government's here to tell us that we need to be checked, we need to be stopped. They have all these different videos of all the times where the Avengers did something or tried to stop something, but then all these people died as a result. So I like the idea that Iron Man is on that side of, we need rules, we need restrictions, we need to be kept in balance. I think that's a really interesting concept. As much as I think it's valid for Captain America to say, we're going to lose people along the way because Captain America is kind of the only person who's been in a war before. So, you know, the first Avenger movie, there are a lot of people that were dying. There's a lot of death in that first movie.
Yeah.
So he's the only one that really has a good, you know, handle on what it's like to be a veteran. And what was it? Iron Man 3 was Robert Downey Jr. dealing with PTSD because he never, you know, had to deal with any of that stuff before, as far as, which I don't think he saw.
I don't. They all blur together for me.
Okay, which is fine. So that was an issue for Iron Man. He'd never been a part of this world before, so he was dealing with anxiety in a really, really big way. So I just think it's interesting to have Captain America's stance be, this is part of the job. It's not a beautiful part of the job, but it's part of the job nonetheless. And he's more on the side of, you know, we can't have government regulation. Look what happened with Hydra and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We can't really have restrictions on us because we are not like any other fighting force in the world. So he's, you know, leave us alone, let us do our thing, and then he's out to protect Bucky. So I think that's an authentic and legitimate conflict. I don't think it seems, you know, let's just make them fight for no reason. So I like that a lot.
I hate your face.
I hate your face. I hate your face. You have perfect teeth. Blah. I like that Black Panther's in it. I think that's going to be really interesting.
I like his suit. I know nothing about him, but his suit's freaking cool.
All I've heard is everybody's talking about how hot that suit is, and I guess it's miserable to be in, but if you're going to be Black Panther, like, just, it's fine. You'll be alright. He's well compensated for sweating. And I think that Black Widow is a double agent. There's a lot of controversy right now over the fact that she is on Iron Man's side, where everybody thought she would be with Captain America and Hawkeye, which I was really thinking about how much time they spent together in Winter Soldier and how much, like, Natasha Romanoff has always been a double agent. That's kind of her bag, and she's great at it. She's really tight with Hawkeye. She's really, really tight with Captain America. So I think, in my opinion, she's a double agent. So she's working for them, which is why she's on the side of, you know, Iron Man. So she's either getting intel or halfway through a really big fight, she's just going to switch sides and start fighting from the other side. I think that would be interesting.
That would be pretty cool. I mean, that's her gimmick.
So hashtag Devon was right. I'm calling it right now. I say that Black Widow is a double agent because that's what she is anyway. All right, so that's what we like. What are your hesitations about the movie? What are you concerned about? If anything.
I can't think of anything. Like, it seems really cool to me, which is strange.
And the point of a trailer is to make you have questions that you want to get answered, so you go to the movie and you get those answers. So I agree. I think there's a lot of stuff that's really good in the trailer. I think it raises a lot of questions, but I didn't see anything in the movie where I'm like, weird, that doesn't make any sense.
They did a good job.
The Black Widow thing, but I made that make sense in my own brain, so I don't care about that anymore. So speaking of trailers, there's a lot of stuff in the trailer. There's a really big reveal in the trailer, Spider-Man.
Yes.
And you don't necessarily like that all that much. So we'll kind of segue into our next thing, which is trailers in general. Do trailers show too much of their hand, and do they potentially ruin the plot of a movie or the plot of a video game or whatever? What do you think?
There are limits to where you can go. Like with Dawn of Justice, Batman vs. Superman. I wanted to know nothing, but just the sheer size of what they are doing, it's almost impossible to avoid that. And like all the things I follow on Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff is whenever they launched that trailer that showed Wonder Woman, you knew Wonder Woman was in there, and I didn't want to know anything. And that kind of, I don't know, took something out of me.
Well, and that's the hard part of it, because you go to a movie for the same reason that you want to read a book, and where you want to give yourself to that experience. You want to, you know, immerse yourself in the story and really be surprised. So it's difficult especially like in our field and what we do, because there's such a premium on who's got the latest news story, who's got the casting details. You know, so-and-so talked to so-and-so who talked to so-and-so who worked one day delivering sandwiches and they heard this or whatever. And that sucks because there's no wrong answer there. It's, you know, there's nothing wrong with you not wanting to know anything and be surprised. There's also nothing wrong with you wanting just to figure out what's going on and just really be excited about it. I think that's a part of the hype of where we're at right now with casting rumors and with all this other stuff. Like, there's been so many casting rumors just about every movie that's come out in the past, like, I don't know, 5-10 years. Everybody should, you know, why is Coulson in the first, you know, Iron Man movie? Is this Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and blah, 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 and everybody just was dying to know. But I agree. I think there is something that takes away from it. Like, was going to watch Captain America: Civil War anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I had heard that they were thinking about bringing Spider-Man into the movie, and I could have done without him being in the trailer. I saw the trailer, and then I watched it. I was at school. I was at Kent when I saw it. So I saw the trailer. I watched it again. I paused it. I took a screenshot. I edited it, and I posted it because I was so excited because Spider-Man was in it. But I also would have been more happy if I would have found out about that in the movies. Mm-hmm. I think I was just more excited to see his costume than anything else because I didn't know what it was going to look like and to see what he was going to sound like, or to hear rather what he was going to sound like.
See that if I went to see Civil War and I'm just sitting there, had no idea what to expect, and I saw Spider-Man jump in, I would probably stand up and start cheering. That's
nice.
like how excited I would be about that. But now I know, so it's still going to be really cool. But it's not going to be that...
Like, you missed the punch of that moment, right. So now we're just hoping that Deadpool's in it so we get a really cool cameo that we don't know about. But that, I don't know, that kind of...
Deadpool kills Cap.
There you go. There you go. Ryan Reynolds just comes out of nowhere, eating a chimichanga, and just... he's cleaning his gun and he accidentally shoots Cap in the back of the head.
Like a Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, it's a totally bad mistake. I would be alright with it. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'd be alright with it. So, in really big movies, I don't think they really need to show their hand because I think that people are going to watch that stuff anyway and you're spoiling the story. But, when it comes to a movie like Suicide Squad, which I am honestly not that interested in, we had, I don't know if it was the last episode or the episode before where I said, Jared Leto. I still, Leto, is that? Okay. He's an awesome actor and I really like his work. However, with a movie like Suicide Squad, nothing's hooked me yet. I like, the costume designs are interesting. Like, I get what they're doing. I know, I've read all the source material, so I know it all. That's not a problem. I just don't care about the movie at all. So for a guy like me, I know that they're going to try to throw as much stuff as they can to hook me and to go see it. Because right now, I'm one of the people that I just don't care yet.
See, I don't even know what to convey for you to be excited about it. The costumes that we've seen of Jared Leto as the Joker just goes through like all kinds of different artists of the comic book. Like
which is cool.
That's so cool. And then just his whole demeanor there as the Joker, and really I didn't even know the Joker was in it until we heard his laugh and then saw his face. I'm like, okay, he looks great. I love the teeth thing. That's pretty cool. But I don't know what to sell to you with that because I don't really know how they're going to do it, which is really exciting to me because Suicide Squad I find is really cool. Harley Quinn is kind of like a Deadpool of the DC universe. Now, she didn't used to be, but now she's becoming that kind of, I would say slapstick's a character.
Well, and with like a character like Harley Quinn, like I don't see her as a legitimate threat in any medium that I've seen her as. So in all the Batman Arkham games that I've played, she's just kind of been there. She's just kind of been a character that you talk to, and she's kind of a joke. So that's kind of my idea of her. I've read a lot of different stuff. I've seen a lot of different like animated movies and cartoon shows, but she's always kind of this hokey, non-really threatening person. Like she's just kind of this extra little piece. So now that she's in a movie, and I know less about her than probably anybody else in the set. But I just don't find her interesting enough as a character in her own right to care about her in a movie.
See, this would be a good way for you to be introduced to her then, because she's brilliant. She is absolutely extremely intelligent. She's a doctor, obviously. She knows what she's doing, but she plays it like she doesn't. She plays the dumb girl really well, but she's actually like this mastermind behind a lot of Joker's plans. That's why they work so well together.
Okay, see, because I am under the impression that it's like Stockholm Syndrome. So he beats her and he verbally abuses her so much to where she convinces herself that she's in love with him and she'll do anything.
There is a part of that, but she's also smart. Like, she could work on her own, but she is in love with Mr. J.
Right, which I know. She calls him Puddin'. Whatever. I don't know.
Margot Robbie, I think she's going to do a really great job. And Jared Leto and Margot, I think it's going to be a great combo.
She's an amazing actress. I really liked her a lot in Wolf of Wall Street. She was really good. I think that's all I've seen her in so far. But it's an incredible movie. It's super inappropriate. There's a lot of really adult content in there. But she's a fantastic actress in that movie. I think that role got her this role. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know for a fact, but it's probably pretty close to
it didn't hurt her chances by any slight. But I don't know. Back on the topic of trailers, with stuff like that, where I know a lot of people don't know, was it Captain Boomerang, or they're just calling him Boomerang?
Boomerang, yeah.
And like El Diablo and stuff like that. A lot of people don't know anything about these characters, so they have to throw as much as they can into a trailer to force you to, all right, so I don't know anything about this guy, let me go check it out, I guess.
My speculation, this may be way out in left field, feel free to comment your thoughts. Dawn of Justice is going to have stuff for Suicide Squad. We're going to be introduced to some of these bad guys, and they're going to be locked away in Arkham or whatever, if they decide to go with Arkham. And then we're going to see what these people can do before we see Suicide Squad, because they have a lot to fill in with Dawn of Justice.
Well, because I know is it for sure Doomsday? He's like one of the big. He's the thing that they're fighting. Like that is the thing that they're fighting. I'm pretty sure.
It's either Darkseid or Doomsday. My guess. I don't know if they throw Doomsday out there so quickly, but it's possible. I don't know.
When I saw the screen of it, and he had bones coming out of his face. It's this big hulking kind of weird looking monster guy. Like it looked
probably Doomsday.
Looked very Doomsday to me. So, but I was also told, or I read rather, that wasn't the central conflict. That was like one piece and something else.
It can't be.
So I feel like if you're gonna set up the stage for Batman and everything else, there's got to be a whole bunch of other smaller stuff that they do leading up to the Doomsday battle, leading up to the big, the thing that makes them stop fighting each other and start working together, which is inevitable for both movies. So I think it's smart if they introduce, not all of them, but a lot of them. Because I know Batman's supposed to be in Suicide Squad.
Oh, yeah, we've seen the I think it was a Lamborghini, the purple Lamborghini that Joker drives.
Yeah.
We've seen Batman on top of that Lambo.
Okay, cool.
And I'm willing to put money on Jared's Joker being in Dawn of Justice in some way. So.
And then, super speculation is... Is Joker Jason Todd?
I don't know. I mean, it's possible. It could be.
Is there any reason that they wouldn't?
We don't know who Jason Todd is.
Right, but I read it the other day. Ben Affleck was on some show, I don't even remember which one it was, but he was saying that this edition of Batman, he's grieving, he's in agony, like he's grieving the loss of his partner. And then we already saw in the first trailer, there's the Robin costume, and it's all trash and decked out. So
yeah, I did not know that. So that
cool.
Could be, yeah.
See, spoilers. But that's what made me and some other people, I'm sure, on the internet think, what if that is Jason Todd? This is him becoming the Joker, and that's kind of how they link him together. So I think that'd be interesting.
That'd be wild, yeah. I kind of like that idea. But I had no idea that the grieving stuff. Like, I avoid stuff, so.
And I really hope that it is Jason Todd, because that means Dick Grayson is probably in the world somewhere. Yeah. And I would... If they didn't add any other character but added Nightwing, I would watch whatever movie Nightwing's in.
I mean, just call it Grayson, and you do the super sexy super spy. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so before we get off of... We were talking about trailers.
Moment of silence for game trailers. It was one of my favorite websites in high school. They had a really cool way to watch videos, and you get rewarded for watching it. And after 13 years of them being up, they shut their doors, I think, last week. So.
And I know very little to nothing about this website, but I do know it just shut down. But do you know why it shut down? Who shut it down?
I don't know all the details. I just know Viacom bought them. They weren't getting very much traffic, so they just decided to shut her down. YouTube was taking everything from them, basically. So.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, because it's free, easy watching. Okay. So we'll kind of get off of trailers in a little bit. And we wanted to talk a little bit about, if you want to be safe, you have to be a hermit. Don't read nothing. Don't watch nothing. Don't talk to nobody. You stay in a basement until the movie comes out. You go midnight launch, unless it launches at 10 o'clock. Then you go see it at 10 o'clock.
Yep.
You don't talk to anybody. You watch it, and then you go home, and you keep it to yourself. You swear an oath of silence. Because before we get off trailers, we were going to have a quick word about trolls.
Don't be one. Come on, guys.
You're better than that. And the problem is, some of you that are watching this aren't better than that. But it doesn't make any sense because aren't you one of us? Like, that's the part that doesn't make sense. If you're the guy or girl that watches this at a midnight launch, you're part of the group. So then if you care enough to watch it at midnight, that means you've been interested enough to go see it at midnight because you want to see the story. So then for you to turn it around and then just start blasting this happens and this happens all over the internet, what kind of monster are you? The worst kind of monster, really.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
May something terribly itchy and really unpreventable happen to you in the future.
Preferably.
Yes.
They are clever in certain aspects.
They are very clever.
I want to give an example.
Yeah, go ahead.
But
it's a good one because I forgot about this until you mentioned it.
If you have not seen Star Wars, tune out for a second.
Correct.
Because this is a rough one, but it's pretty freaking clever. So, I'm online. I think I was playing Rocket League or something along those lines. Like the week after it came out. I already seen it, so it didn't bother me. But someone made a PSN account. And his name was Han is Ben's dad. It was Han is Ben's dad who kills Han. Or something along those lines. I'm trying to think of exactly how it was worded because it was really clever. Shoot. I had it and I lost it.
Alright, so we'll stay on Star Wars for a second.
Yeah.
So I'm playing Rocket League.
Yeah.
Mind my own business. Me and somebody else were destroying this other team. Toward the end, where if you're losing so bad in Rocket League, there's an option for you to just hit forfeit because you're not going to come back from it. So we beat this team so bad that they forfeit. Right after that happens, you can do your automatic little notification messages, or you can type in your own. Right after they forfeit, the team that forfeit, one of them says, Ben kills Han Solo, and then leaves the match. And I started laughing so hard because that was one of the main reasons. I didn't think we were going to get to see it the midnight launch because all we had heard was that all the tickets were sold out. Mm-hmm. That's all we heard.
Yep.
So then out of nowhere, I find out that there are still tickets available. So I text Cam, and I'm like, hey, I got 2 tickets. You want to go to the midnight launch? You immediately say yes, and then off we go. So we were lucky. We were very strategic.
And there was no one there.
Yeah, it was like surprisingly open.
Yeah.
But had we not done that, I would have been so mad. I was just playing Rocket League. It wasn't related to Star Wars. It wasn't like we were driving Star Wars-related content vehicles or anything like that. It was just for no reason. This jerk just drops it. And, I wish him many unfortunate things in the future.
I was reading online. There was one, still Star Wars, of course. This has been the hot topic for you troll trash. It was like on a golf forum. Like, golf. It was like, Ben kills Han, and Han is Ben's dad, just right in the middle in bold letters of this forum talking about the golf thing that was going on. Like, why? They don't care.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
You just want attention.
It's the thing that doesn't make any sense. Like, you want everybody to yell at you so everybody knows who you are. The dumbest 15 minutes of fame, if it's even considered that.
That's not fame.
It's ridiculous. What's the biggest thing that's ever been spoiled for you? Game, movie, or otherwise?
Oh, shoot.
Spider-Man and Civil War?
Those are kind of disappointing, but it's whatever. I can't think of anything offhand, honestly. I try. That's like traumatizing for me, so I shut it down.
I have 2 that have always bothered. There's one that happened to me when I was like in middle school. Like, so for those of you that are older, maybe some of you that are younger that like old school stuff, there's a movie called The Sixth Sense. Really big movie, really popular. One of probably M. Night Shyamalan's better movies, arguably so. So if you haven't seen the movie, stop watching, skip this, 45 seconds into the future. But Bruce Willis, it turns out, is dead. So the entire movie, I didn't know, hinged on that entire idea. So the movie just came out. A friend of mine went to see it. So I told him, hey, I'm going to go see The Sixth Sense. I think it's going to be a pretty cool movie. Everybody's talking about it. And then he goes, oh yeah, Bruce Willis is dead. So I'm like, well, okay, that's fine. I didn't think it was a big deal until I saw the movie and realized that was the point of the movie. The whole point of the movie, the whole twist, the M. Night Shyamalan twist was that Bruce Willis was a friggin' ghost. and that one douche nozzle ruined it for me.
That's pretty rough.
I was very mad. And then I've got one other one because it didn't make any sense. So do you know what GameFly is?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so before I got my PlayStation 4, long time ago, I used GameFly, which is a rental service. It's you pay a couple bucks a month, and they'll send you a game. It's I got over it really quickly. But there's an app you can download on your phone where there's like kind of a community like Facebook or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So the first the first Avengers movie had just come out, and I knew that it would come out, but I wanted to look at something else, so I just looked in a forum, and then some dumb jerk. And again, if you haven't seen the first Avengers movie, how is that possible, for one?
Yeah.
But skip this another 30 seconds or so. Iron Man dies at the end, and, then the Avengers close. And I was so mad. I was so ridiculously mad just because it's the dumbest thing. So quick PSA. If your life is so lonely that the only satisfaction that you get is to spend your mom's money to go see a movie at the midnight launch just so you can post it on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook or change your PlayStation Network name.
Can't change your names.
You can't change your names.
Sure, hey, let us change our names.
Hashtag let us change our PSN names. But if you create your own special username just to spoil our movie, we at Watch Chat Play hope you never find love. We hope you never find happiness.
And if you have love, you lose it.
We hope that you've fallen in love with somebody that you've wanted your entire life, that you've dreamt about this person, and finally the stars aligned in a way where it just happened to work out, and you fell into a deep, just mythical kind of love. And then I hope that person finds their actual true love and just rips your heart out and just monkey stomps it into the ground. That's how little I think of you as a troll.
That's pretty rough, bro.
I
like that.
I'm a very narrative, story-driven person, and I feel like if you're the type of person to ruin that for other people after you went to see it so nobody else could spoil it for you, you're a terrible human monster, and I think you are a steaming pile of hot street trash.
Hot dumpster fire.
Hot dumpster fire. Okay, so
Speaking of hot,
that's a perfect segue. This is our Buffalo Wild Wings edition of Hot Headlines that we're going to have coming up next.